Yo guys, and in today's video we're going to be going over mistakes you do not want to make when you're playing Driving Empire. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. The first mistake you want to avoid is that if you buy a car and then sell it and then buy it again and then try to sell it in the first 10 minutes, you're going to lose money because it barely says right here. You can't even read it, but it says vehicles can be sold for 100% within 10 minutes of their first purchase. After that, less. So if you buy it and then sell it and then buy it again and then you try to sell it in 10 minutes because you just can't decide if you want this car or not, and you sell it under 10 minutes, you're not going to sell it for 16 million if you were to buy this car. You'd probably get like 12 million or something like that. So make sure you don't get scammed because you barely can't even read this one right here. So I don't know how you're supposed to know. It's kind of sneaky there, but yeah, make sure you don't do that because I used to sell cars and buy cars, sell cars all the time, and I would lose money like crazy because I just couldn't decide if I wanted the car or not. So that's the first mistake you want to avoid in Driving Empire. That's how you lose money. The second mistake is if you want a good car, don't always go for the most expensive option because there's always cheaper options that might even have better stats. So for example, I'm just gonna throw one out here. The Jesco is kind of overpriced. I'm gonna admit it. $16 million is crazy work for a Jesco. But if you want it, you can get it. But I'd say the Rovana Racer is probably better than the Jesco. So if you want a cheaper version, I know it's only $6 million less, but that is $6 million less. You can get an even better or the same stats car right here. I would say there's similar stats. Like, just look at this. This one, you know, it's a little bit faster, but it's similar stats for $6 million less. So if you were going to just trying to get an efficient car, I'd say just, you know, always check out the cheaper options because they might be better. Like this one could be better than the Jesco. I'm not sure. Because if you just go right here and you'll see like top speed, yeah, I'll just do high to low. And just look up here, you might find a cheap car up here that is still really, really fast. Like, let me just go up here and try to find a cheap car. This one right here, this one is only $700,000, and it's in, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3, 15. It's in the top 15 fastest cars in the game, and it's only $700,000. So let's get on to the next one. The next mistake you want to avoid is forgetting to collect daily rewards like I did today. So this is just missing out on free money. I think it's about $114,000 to $115,000 a day that you could just be missing out on, and all you got to do is play for about 20 minutes and then just click. Obviously, I haven't played for 20 minutes yet. That's why I don't have these, but when I do, I'll just click them and get some free money. So don't like miss out on daily rewards because it's like an extra 115 grand a day, and I get a lot of comments saying like, oh, I only have $50,000 in Driving Empire, and I'm like, sorry to be mean, but how? You could just collect daily rewards and have 115 grand. So make sure every day you're collecting your daily rewards because if you don't, you're just missing out on free money, and who doesn't want free money? Yeah, for real. So let's get on to the next one. All right, the next mistake you want to avoid is ugly specs, and I'm not even going to use this car for this because I don't want to sacrifice this car. So I'm going to use this Audi R8 to sacrifice it. All right, like what people do not want to see when they're playing Driving Empire is just ugly specs driving around randomly. So I don't know what's going on with this Audi R8 fitment right here, but I'm going to show you a prime example of what you do not want to do when speccing your car. The first thing you don't want to do is some ugly wraps. Look at these wraps. I mean, I know they're Christmas, but like, what is that? That's like, it's so ugly. So I'm just going to install this, make this uglier, ugliest as I can, and then show you why you shouldn't do this because it's just awful. So, what should I do? That's absolutely terrible. I'm going to leave that. That's awesome. Okay, yup. And we're going to look for the worst rims absolutely possible. Nobody wants to see this driving around in their public server, and I don't know how you guys like these cars. Like, obviously, if your car looks like this, I've never actually seen this ungodly amount of, okay, yeah, just don't do ugly specs in Driving Empire. It's just, like, the #1 way to be targeted at Driving Empire public server, so just save yourself from that and don't do it. Alright, the next thing you want to avoid is upgrading everything but the engines and everything. So for an example, I think I did this on most of my counter-strikes, so I kind of did a mistake, but I know I'm trying to show you that like these ones are really expensive, so I did not upgrade the engine. But like I literally upgraded everything else in here, like appearance and everything, all the wraps, all the headlights, the cowl, everything. But the only thing I didn't upgrade was nothing in here. No performance, nothing, no performance stats. I just went all out on the spec, but then no performance. So the thing's just like, it's slower than every other Gear RS out there. So like the one mistake you want to avoid when like you're specking out the car is don't spend all your money on appearance and then have no engine. You rather have a sleeper build where the car looks completely stock, but then it has a very upgraded engine, completely, you know, full out upgraded. So make sure you just not upgrading your engines because then you're just going to be slower than all the other cars that people have the same car as you, but they're way faster. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I do that all the time, and it's just like I'm slow for no reason. Every other car is faster than me. All right, the next mistake you want to avoid when playing Driving Empire is buying houses. Unless you really want a house, it is not necessary, especially because you cannot sell houses. I'm gonna repeat that. You cannot sell them. So I'll go to the shop right now and show you. Like, there's all the buttons to buy, all the buttons in the world to purchase, but no buttons in the world to sell. I can't sell any of these, and you're never going to find a button to sell because they've just said you can't sell houses. So unless you really want a house to store your cars, because that is still pretty cool, you can do that. Just know you cannot sell a house. So if you just think it's necessary, it's not. They even give you a base house, so you don't gotta buy one. But yeah, if you just think you gotta buy one, you don't, because you can't even sell it anyway. So yeah, just try to avoid this mistake. So unless you really want a house to, store your cars, which you perfectly, you can, but just know you can't sell houses. So that might be a mistake you want to avoid. The next mistake you want to avoid is don't spend the second you receive. What I mean by this is when you grind up a bunch of money for a car, don't immediately go out and spend it all, because then you have no money. You don't have any upgrade. You don't have money for upgrades or anything for the car, and it's just like a good tactic in general, because you can either, let's just say for an example, you want to buy like a $500,000 McLaren 765 LT. I'll just get one out for here real quick. You want to buy this car and you have $0. You could grind up $500,000, but what you should do is grind up another $500,000, so then you have $1 million, where you can either decide if you want a car that's $1 million or have a, 765 LT and $500,000 for upgrades, or just to have pocketed. So don't spend money the second you get the money, because then you're just always going to be broke. Yeah, you're going to have cars, but then you're just going to have no money for other cars. So there's more tactics, to this, but that is just one you should go and follow by, is don't spend the second you receive. So avoid this mistake in Driving Empire. The next mistake you want to avoid in Driving Empire is upgrading everything but tires. If you watch some of the Car to the Cars videos where we do build battles, you notice that I actually do this mistake a lot, where I upgrade everything but somehow forget the tires. I don't know how this happens, but okay, that was a weird glitch, but I'll show you why you should not do this, because I do it all the time somehow. I don't know how I end up never upgrading the tires, but this is what happens. Some people do this with brakes and tires, thinking they're not important compared to the engine, but they kind of are, because of this. Like, watch me just try to make a common turn. I'm just drifting everywhere because I have no wheels at all. I just have standard wheels. These aren't even drift tires, and I have no control, no handling, nothing. And yep, look, okay, I'm just stuck now. Okay, I don't know where to go. And then if I just want to brake out a corner, or because I didn't upgrade my brakes, thinking, oh, it's not an engine thing, all I want to do is fast, now I just don't have brakes, and I suck. See, yeah, so those are two mistakes you don't want to avoid in one, is make sure to upgrade your brakes and tires, because they do matter compared to all your engine stats and all that stuff. So yeah, don't avoid this. What? No, avoid that. Avoid that mistake. Alright, the next mistake you want to avoid is not taking free stuff. Driving Empire actually gives us a fair amount of free stuff, and sometimes people don't take it. These Lamborghinis were out for about like 3 months, I would say. It was a while. These Lamborghinis were just completely free, and people still didn't take them, and then complained after, saying, wait, it's not in the game anymore? What? You could have got it in the 3 months. It was free. All you gotta do is do one race, and then you got a completely free Lambo. So when they offer free stuff, take the free stuff. The last mistake you want to avoid when playing Driving Empire is hating on updates. I see this a lot in comments. Now it doesn't make you like the worst person ever, but I would say a lot of people were hating about how we had small updates in the last couple of months of 2024, and it's because they were preparing to give you very big updates in 2025. So people were complaining, not knowing why they were doing that, and it's like, don't hate on updates when you don't know why they're small or anything like that or something like that, because Driving Empire is still trying to give you better updates. So yeah, just don't hate on updates. But that was, I think, all 10 mistakes I just listed. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out my description where my Discord is and my other 2 channels, and hope to see you guys in the next video. That was a very quick outro, but yeah, see you in the next video.